I sent you picture of my new boyfriend daddy. He come from America daddy. He stay in this hotel and have big money daddy. I want to get marry him very quick. No, don't be silly daddy, he not secure me age as you. You see his picture, he same age as your daddy. He come to Thailand yesterday, and we meet last night when he come massage shop. He tell me he love me already, very happy. Yes, I know granddaddy dead more than 5 years, so you know why I want get married very quick. Maybe we can have big party when he dead also. Oh, I have to go quick. He fall out his wheelchair and cannot stand up.
Hello again, everyone. This is Sandy again from Talk of Thailand, and following up from my last video where I was talking about the problems, dangers, etc., about meeting up with Thai girls and maybe entering relationships with Thai people. And I promised I'd follow that on again, and here it is. So before I move on fully, I just want to put a few comments on that covers all people. I said I would particularly concentrate on guys or people that are wanting to settle down here in Thailand and how they might find long-term relationships. But first of all, I'd like to talk about the general side again. So if you're coming to Pattaya, I'd like to tell you where to go. At this moment in time, I would say the best general place to go for evening's entertainment I'm talking about is the area of Soi Buakhao, which runs from central Pattaya all the way down to Pattaya Thai on the south side. The place is developed over the last few years. It's full of restaurants, bars, massage parlors, 7-Elevens, hotels, and there's a good range of everything down there. And it also branches off to Soi Chayapom, which is a nice area with hotels, etc. Very full road, but a couple of very good bars there. LK Metro, which they say is the new walking street in Pattaya. And also Tree Town, which is a new area also that's been developed recently. Very nice, and a lot of new drinking outlets, etc., bars, bar restaurants, nightclubs, and a lot of more small beer bars, etc. The problem is now that when you go down there, it makes you realize just how empty Pattaya is, because it's absolutely loaded. Now, I must say that if I was a young guy, maybe 20s, 30s, and coming to Pattaya for a bit of entertainment, hey, it's all here. It is good. I would strongly recommend it to people that want to enjoy the life out. It's a big advancement away from Prague and places like that, where it's very popular with the younger generations. And of course, you've got the mystical East here, the smiling Thai culture, and that's an experience in its own, not just the partying and etc. And the girls, who the majority of guys find pretty beautiful, actually. I do as well. They're pretty stunning looking girls. So that's where to go if you're coming to Pattaya. There's dozens of good hotels. You can look these up. But anyway, to get back to the point of my video is where it can all go wrong and what you should be aware of. If you want to go people watching, by the way, just sitting there having a couple of beers and watch the the day go by and who's going around. Sitting down on Beach Road at the end of Soy 7, between Soy 7 and Soy 8 on the beach. There's a whole list of bars down there, whole host of bars, sorry. You can sit there, have a table overlooking the beach and the main road between you and the beach, and all the people walking up and down there. It's a very pleasant way to spend a couple of hours. And there's one down there, the Wonder Bar, I think, maybe more than one there. At about 4 or 5 o'clock, they start playing music, so you can have sundowners down there. Nice place to go, sit, a couple of beers or a couple of cocktails or whatever is your fancy. Sit there and watch the sun go down into the sea from the beach road. It's a very pleasant way to do it. One other area I would be very amiss if I didn't tell you about it is the very seedy area of Soy 6. The only thing I go down there is for the Queen Vic, which is an English hotel restaurant. Superb value for money. Food's very good. A good range of beers, including Guinness and one or two English cask ales, I think. Very, very good. The rest of the Soy is absolutely seedy. It's a lot of bars with girls very scantily dressed, offering all that might be required. Beer in general is much more expensive down there. Girls' drinks are expensive. Girls are expensive. The rooms above the bars where you can rent for however long it's going to take you, they're expensive. So if that's what you're after, Soy 6 is the way to go. A couple of other places I'd like to mention, actually, that I have visited in the past, and is the soapy massages down in the Klua end of Pattaya. You've got a couple down there, Sabai and Sabai. These are areas where you can go and get a lovely full body massage and happy ending, everything. And it's good because the girls are beautiful. They know exactly what they're doing. They're very, very professional. Nice shower, bath, massage, etc. And then you pay your money and you're gone out. The deal's done and dusted, and you can go on and enjoy your evening, feeling pretty good, having everything taken care of when you go out. So just an idea for you guys that might be thinking, or girls, of course, that might be thinking of what they can do here. So let's go on to the problems again. I'd like firstly to say again that in my last video, I did demonize the bar girls a little bit. And in some ways, I can't retract it all, and I'm not going to retract it all, but I will say, in clarification, the bar owners buy bars down these areas so they can get your money when you're here on holiday. They then hire the girls to entertain you, to look after you, to keep you happy, to try and get them to buy drinks, get you to buy drinks for them. And if you so desire, to get you to pay a bar fine and escort you home for the short time or evening. So we can't describe them for that because they're working, they're getting paid to do that, that's their job. And some of them do it very good, and some of them don't do it so well at all. So they can't be blamed for everything. Problems that you may find that come from girls that you meet, and if you get a little bit involved with them, are gambling. Number one, I think I've seen more problems with in Pattaya over the years is the girls love to gamble, even when they're not working. You know, some of them get together in their rooms and they have gambling schools going, and some of them end up in very, very big debt, hundreds of thousands of baht. And then they go and ask their Farang boyfriends, etc., can you help me? I've got a problem. My dad's car has broke down and he needs 200,000 baht to get it repaired. Can you help us? Things like that. These are typical. Also, another problem coming from the girls, of course, is stealing. You've got to be careful of that. just be sensible with your money, etc. Don't carry all your money on you, and don't leave your wallet lying around. And not only the girls, but anybody can steal you, not necessarily the girl you're with. Other girls in the bar. Drugs and alcohol. Now, drugs and alcohol. Drugs is a little bit of a problem. Some of them do like to take yaba. I've seen them smoking the reefers down there. And just on drugs, just right at this moment in Pattaya, they've done a complete reverse in the last few months. And now you can buy joints in the bars. There's cannabis cafes that around, and there's even small stalls dotted around Pattaya that sell cannabis minerals and cannabis tea, etc. So it's really taken off. You can buy cannabis, and you can grow cannabis. I think it's up to 12 plants per household or something like that. So it's strictly not legal for leisure, but it doesn't seem to bother anyone here, and they've opened the doors, and it's working. So drugs are an increasing problem, I think. But a lot of girls do drink, and they drink silly when they drink, and they get drunk very quick. Many girls don't drink alcohol at all, and when you buy them drinks, you see them drinking orange juice or Coke or something like that, but you're still getting charged for a lady's cocktail drink, and that can upset guys a bit as well. Another one is Thai boyfriends. They might call them the brothers, they might call them the boyfriends, or they might just call them just a friend. But a lot of girls, when they come here and things are down, they do set up relationship with Thai guys around about. Motorbike taxi drivers, quite a few of them have Thai girlfriends around the bars, and other people as well. So there could be some Thai boyfriend, etc., in the background if you're enjoying the company of a lady. So just beware of that. It certainly won't come as a problem. It won't normally come as a problem in a normal bar relationship, but once you take them out of the bar, and if anything goes wrong, then it can get quite nasty also. Another thing is children. You know, there's quite often they've already got children. I think a lot of girls seem to believe it's a duty to have at least one child for Thailand before they do anything else. And of course, talking about children, if they think your relationship looks good and they want to keep you, they will let you make them pregnant without you knowing it. I can show you from absolutely first-hand experience. I'm not complaining. It's worked very well for me, but it's a way of them trying to secure your dedication to them also. So be aware. But that comes later on down the relationship normally, when everything's settled and they're quite sure you're what they're wanting, and they're quite happy with the relationship, and then they're thinking about how they're going to absolutely certainly keep you, and that's one of the ways to think about it. Now then, let's go on to the problems from the guys. Now this is a different aspect altogether again, because alcohol, drugs, loss of reality. Yes, loss of reality. The sweet shop syndrome again. You know, the guys come here, all these beautiful girls. Some guys come here and they want to see how many girls they can have sex with in one day. I know one guy that says he's had 6 or 7 in a day. Very, very envious of him at that time. I thought, how he can do that, but I think he ran out of steam halfway through his 3-week holiday though. So, as I say, loss of reality. It's they don't have it in their home country, the UK, Europe, USA. They don't have all these beautiful girls in the bars, etc., waiting to pamper them and waiting them to see what they want and how they can enhance whatever rewards you're going to give them. Stupidity. Yeah, a lot of guys, it seems like when they get here, they let all common sense disappear out their head. It's total stupidity. And the more they can see that you've got a diminished responsibility in looking after your own things, the greater the risk that they're thinking, okay, let's take advantage of this. And that's not the girl's fault, it's the guy's fault again. They have to use some common sense and have a reality check while they're still here. You know, many of the guys that come here are just not worldly wise. I said in my last video, I wouldn't trust them to take a day trip to Blackpool. It's even worse than that, actually. Some of them have never been away from their mother's apron strings, I often think. And, you know, when you come to countries like Thailand and other countries in this area, you've got to understand the culture. You've got to understand the differences. And once again, communication. Communication is a big problem. If you can't communicate with whoever you're talking to, you've got a problem. Find somebody else to talk to who can communicate with you. Asking questions and not being able to get answers is very, very frustrating sometimes and can lead to problems also. All these things make a problem. The 3-day rule. Now, I don't really know where this comes from, but I've had a few people talking about it, and I don't know if I fully agree with it, actually, but let me tell you what it is to start. Many people say that the 3-day rule, if you find a girl and you're enjoying her company, you're partying, you're having good sex, you're enjoying each other's company, etc., and that's like the first night, and then the second night, and then the third night, and then the 3-day rule means give it up after 3 days, move on, find someone else. That can be extremely hard to do. It can be extremely hard to do after one night. If you've really enjoyed a girl's company and everything's gone well, it can be very hard to do after one night. But they say if you don't, then the several things start to happen simultaneously. One, the lady starts to regard you as their property. And if they lose you to another lady, then it's not only going to be they're not only going to lose space, they're going to lose finance, which is even more important. And you could end up finding yourself getting stalked, and as in fatal attraction, and them causing all sorts of problems for you, embarrassing you, confronting you when you're with other people, shouting at you, swearing at you, even down to violence, being at your hotel, standing outside your room, shouting at your balcony, banging on your window. All these things happen, and it can be very, very bad. And all this it starts to happen, as many people say, after the 3-day rule. In that aspect, maybe that's about right, because most of the girls control themselves up to that time. But I would just say, be careful in any way, you know. You have to be thinking of yourself every day, doing a brief review of exactly where you're standing, how you're getting on, and what your plans are for today and for tomorrow and the rest of the week, etc., up to the end of your holiday, and taking the reality check. Is it working or not? Just be very, very careful and watch what you're doing. Many guys should not even come here. You know, it's if they've got wives or sweethearts back home and they've just come out to have a holiday with the lads. It's a very dangerous place to come because it can destroy relationships worldwide. It can lead you to all sorts of problems. So I would seriously consider anybody in that situation where they're thinking of coming to Thailand on a party with other people thinking it's not going to do anything wrong but let you enjoy yourself. Think again, it could be very serious and it might be worth your while not going. Just my observation. And the last thing I'd like to talk about in general is the danger of freelancers and ladyboys. Let's talk about freelancers first. You see freelancers everywhere. They're along the beach. They're in the shopping malls. Yesterday, I myself and my wife went to Terminal 21 for lunch. And as we were sitting having lunch, I saw many that looked like freelancers browsing around to see who's on the go, looking for single guys or holiday guys that might be having a look around. Looking very attractive and very, very attractive. Let's leave it at that. So yes, in the shopping mall, all sorts of places, and you can meet girls. I know a guy that met a girl in 7-Eleven. She was one of the service girls, and they're working behind the counter, and he asked her out, and she went out with him, and they're now married, and that's about 2 years ago. And I believe they're very happy getting along together. She could speak English. He's English, and he could barely speak English. So it went well. And you hear people meeting their partners and long-term girlfriends, wives, etc., in all sorts of strange, not strange, but different areas. I know that I met a girl one time, and she was very approachable, etc. And she was a lawyer in Bangkok, and she had a very good job, and we just enjoyed each other's company for a little while. We had a few drinks, etc., and enjoyed talking together. She was a very intelligent, intellectual lady, and albeit good looking as well. And we got along quite well. I think if I hadn't been otherwise involved, then that might have been a possible problem for me as well. So that's that. That's for everybody. Now I'm going to move on. And I'm going to move on to the guys that are thinking about coming to Thailand, settling down, retiring. You may be widowed, you may be divorced, but you want to come here and you want to spend the rest of your life here in Thailand. And you would want to find a nice partner, a nice person to share your time here with you, and maybe become your life partner while you're here in Thailand. That it takes a lot of consideration and thinking about. And once again, the most important thing I drum into everything I talk about when I think about when I'm talking about this subject is communication. You need to find somebody that you can communicate with, that you can talk with, that you can have general conversations with. Somebody that, whether you're speaking Thai or they're speaking your language, you've got to be able to communicate. Now, you might meet a super sexy girl that seems to fit tick all the boxes, and you feel you can get past because you can't understand each other talking. Believe me, it's 90% chance it's all going to go wrong because you don't understand each other. You can't explain things to each other, and that is a big problem. So do your homework, do your research, try and find your perfect partner that can communicate with you. Also, when you're here, try learning a bit of Thai. It's much easier when you live in Thailand. Even if you only learn 1 word a day, 2 words a day, 3 words a week. Every word you learn helps you a bit. I found I was in a different aspect in that I had to learn because I was running 150 Thai workers and none of them could speak English. So I had to learn quickly, but I found that I could speak Thai quite proficiently within 6 months. And that was okay, just learning 2 or 3 words every day and putting them to use and practicing them with people. And because if you practice them with people, they'll correct you. There's no need to be embarrassed about saying something not wrong, but they'll tell you how to say it right. And so it's interesting to do. And I'll tell you what, if you learn a little bit of Thai, it pays you back 1,000,000% in respect that you get from the Thai people as well. So saying, I'm sucking back on that a little bit, if you speak too much Thai and the girls, and you go out down in the town and you want them to talk with the girls, etc., as soon as you start talking Thai, they form a picture. They know that you're involved. They know that there's a good chance you've got a Thai wife or a Thai partner of some sort. And they already put you in another category. And it's not the category they think they're going to be able to milk the finance away quite so quickly, which is true. Many guys have said to me, when I said, well, how do you get on? I've actually had guys that know, when they know I can speak Thai, they say, can you ask my wife where her mother come from and things like this? And I think to myself, How sad that he's got to ask someone else to ask his wife something that would be nice to ask in general conversation between you and your own, you know. Everybody needs conversation at some stage. I do as well. I like to sit and talk about various things, about what's happening in the world, etc. Unfortunately, my wife doesn't understand me too much if I'm talking English, but I'm fortunate enough that we can still communicate because I can speak Thai. My wife used to speak very good English, but when I came on and I was speaking more what we call at home Thailish, her English has deteriorated quite a large degree. And now my daughter's on the scene. They speak Thai together all the time. So she's lost a lot of her English, but it's not a problem. We communicate well. So be aware. I think communication is key in living here if you're going to have a partner. Do your research on how you're going to meet the girls, actually. You know, are you happy to go into bars and restaurants and look for the girls there? Yeah. I wouldn't discourage you from doing that. Just be careful. Be very careful. You know, over the years, I've had many, obviously I've sat in many bars and had many drinks, etc. and the rest of it. And I've met many Thai bar girls. And many of them, I'm not talking about sexual activities and that, but just talking to them over the bar. You get to know them, you get to know the regular girls and etc. And, you know, I would say 90% of the girls I've met are straight. They're potentially good ladies. They've ended up working in the bars in Pattaya through necessity. Their families have got no money. They're trying to bring children up. They're trying to pay school fees. They're trying to send money home. And this is the only way that they can do it, is to come to Pattaya and work in bars and sell their bodies, or work in hotels to still get a reasonable amount, although it's not as profitable as the girls that are full on down in the bars, etc. Now, another one I'd recommend, actually, and I'll tell you a little bit about, is a dating site called Thai Friendly. Now, you can join it actually for free. And if you find it interesting and you start wanting to talk to the ladies, I don't think it's too expensive to take out some sort of monthly plan with them. But it puts you in touch with thousands of Thai ladies. Not all good. That's the problem. They're not all good. There's a lot of freelancers on there that are looking for business. There's a lot of masseuses on there that are looking for people to come to the massage parlors. But there's a lot of genuine people on there. And it takes a little bit of work, but it certainly helps you make a short list of people that you'd like to talk to. They sound interesting. You know that you already know that you can talk to each other, etc. And I would certainly recommend that if you want to do it and be as selective as possible. So that's Thai Friendly, online, and I'm sure you'll find it if you do a Google search. If you meet a girl, don't rush into things. Take your time. I would even recommend not, if you've got a house or a condo, don't take them there to begin with. Don't whisk them back there and let them see where you're living and what you've got, etc. Suss the relationship out first. If you're going to stay together, stay in a hotel for a while. You know, take her visit some other part of Thailand or something else. Take her to Bangkok for 2 or 3. Get to know if this feels right to you or not, before you delve a little bit deeper and start committing things a bit wider and opening your heart and your finances up to someone else. So that's the way I'd recommend it to do it. Don't use your private accommodation at first. Use hotels or whatever, and then judge it from there. If you are going to ask a girl to move in, if she has a job and she's going to carry on with her job, no problem. If she's going to move in with you and she's going to give up her job and she's going to stay with you, then she will obviously, in all probability, be looking for you to finance her also. And the finance can be in all various aspects. You finance her living, and what she needs to look after her commitments, which might be family, which might be children, might be she's bought a motorbike, maybe she needs you to look after all that. Any accidents or family problems that may crop up, help you to assist with that. They can happen and crop up surprisingly regularly, actually. You hear all sorts of strange stories of what's happening and they need money for. So in my opinion, and this is more than my opinion, but that's the way it starts. But if you get married, etc., then we've got to look at things a bit different, although they'll still expect you to be involved in whatever commitments they have. I've had a few problems, not with my wife, but with another aspect, and not too happy about it. But it's one of these things happen. Get to know your wife. Get to know your partner. Before you commit anything, meet her family, meet their family. Know their commitments, know the people. You don't want to find any surprising brothers that they may have later that introduce you as their brothers or their friends, etc., because that's a problem. Also, check out, get it so you are fairly confident. You know their background, you know their work history, you know what they've been doing, etc. Don't forget that we've all got skeletons in the closet somewhere, and it's quite like the girls have as well. Unless you come across an absolute saint, and you're an absolute saint, well, you've probably got equal amounts that cancel each other out. That's my understanding, and that's the way I feel about it. They will also want to, the next thing is to make sure that they understand, if they're living with you, what you want from them. Now, I don't mean that. I mean what you want from them. Do you want them to be responsible for making sure the bills are paid? Do you want them to be, if they've got a garden, do you want them to look after the garden? Do they like gardening? Do they want to look after the garden? They know how the washing machine works. They can do the washing, etc. They're happy to do cooking, and they can cook. Do they enjoy cooking? Are you going to have to go out and eat? Or what about European food? Can they cook European food? Can they eat European food? All these things. There's lots and lots of questions you need to get to know and feel comfortable. I would suggest that if I find Thai food very delicious, a little bit spicy sometimes, but very, very delicious right across the board. And I think a lot of people do, but you meet some very strange people that will not entertain anything if it's not sausage and chips or steak and chips, Sunday dinner. That's all they can accept, even though they now live in Thailand. It makes life a lot more expensive, that's for certain, if that's all you can eat. So, buying things like cars, motorbikes, condos, houses, make sure everything goes in your name. And I know you're going to be saying, but you can't buy a house in your name. No, you can't. But you can buy it in a company name. And you could be the largest shareholder in the company with 49%, where several other shareholders are Thai people, but with lesser percents. And you have their voting rights signed over to you. So you're in total control. I bought, this is my third house I bought that way, and it's my name that's on it. No way would I transfer this to my wife's name or anything. Yeah, my daughter's going to get it eventually, but I would hate to end up having a major fallout, not that I'm planning to in any way, but having a major fallout and losing everything. My house, my living, and everything. And that happens surprisingly to a huge number of guys. They sell up in their home countries, they come here, they invest in the houses, and they're living in nice cars and all sorts of mod cons, get some dogs and pets and have nice holidays, etc. And then all of a sudden, something goes wrong and bang, it's all gone. Getting married here in Thailand is very easy, as long as you can get clearance from your embassy that you're free to marry, which is not a problem normally. And the girl's free to marry. It's a very easy thing to do. A few offices, different offices to visit, etc. I'm not going to go into the details about possible dowries and all the rest at the moment. Maybe we'll cover it later, but there's plenty on the internet about having to pay dowries. I disagree with it. If a girl's here in Pattaya, if they've had children before, etc., we're not marrying 18-year-old, 20-year-old, 22-year-olds that have come from university, etc., something like that. We're marrying. We're getting involved with more mature people that have had life already. So I don't see that we should be paying dowries, etc. That's a thing for the birds, as far as I'm concerned. So, you know, in essence, girls worldwide are the very same. You know, they're all the same, and we should treat them, and we should treat and respect them the same. And if you like a person and you really want to be with them, then you've got to take care of them as well. And I see in the majority, the relationships I see here, it works very well. That those that have been together for some time, they get along good, and they're very happy and they're very settled. And that's my situation now. Very happy and very settled. It takes two to keep a relationship going, and that's got to be kept in mind also. Anyway, enough rambling on. I think I've covered enough for this video. It's been a bit of a sad day today, because this is the day after Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II died yesterday, and I didn't think it would affect me too much, but it did. It's affected me quite badly during the night and this morning. Not that I'm a particular royalist, because I'm not. I know Charles, and I know King Charles now. I know him. We served together in the Navy, as did myself and the Duke of York, the jolly old Duke of York and his 10,000 men. We served together in the Navy also, and I've met them and I know them. And I didn't know I had so many feelings for the Queen, actually, and I put that down to my Navy days. I don't know how long the royalties are going, but at the moment it's going on. So I'll finish this video by saying, God save the King. Thank you. Bye.